Hello and welcome to another interesting edition of the Economy and Politics Show, where we bring you key developments in the political economic space as it affects the households. Today, we'll be delving into the Nigerian political space. It's all about economy and politics, not just economy, but politics. And like all our viewers, you know that last week, we had the Anambra 2021 Gubernatorial Elections, which held on Saturday, November 6, 2021. It set the pace for what to expect for subsequent elections as a countdown to the 2023 general polls begin. Our focus today will be key lessons from the 2021 Anambra Gubernatorial Elections. But before we begin, let us give you key political economic highlights from last week. The National Assembly has finally passed the harmonized version of the Electoral Amendment Act. The interesting feature of this amendment is the fact that it empowers the Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC, to determine transmitting election results. It now has the power on the mode of which it will transmit results. Another interesting feature of that amendment bill is the fact that it also supports direct primaries for political parties in the country. Also last week, the federal government announced the National Development Plan for the period 2021 to 2025. The plan replaces the former Economic Recovery and Growth Plan that has guided economic planning since 2017. The National Development Plan is a sub-component of the Economic Sustainability Plan, which, according to the Minister of State for Budget and National Planning, would guide government policies, programs and projects, and private sector operations towards realizing the Nigeria Agenda 2050. Also, President Muhammadu Buhari in Paris, France, wooed investors on the sidelines of the Global Peace Forum to consider Nigeria as an investment destination, considering the enabling environment and enormous potentials for unlocking growth in the economy. We go on a break, and when we return, we'll continue this conversation.
Tune in to Web TV Daily to stay up to date and informed on the financial market, personal finance, and more. We have got you covered with all your favorite TV shows, economy and politics, market review, women's series, millennial talk, Islamic Finance Weekly, The Brief, exclusive interviews, events, and we keep you up to date on all the updates in the financial market with the market opening gong. Watch premium content. Watch Web TV. Same news, different perspective.
Welcome back. And if you're joining us, it is the Economy and Politics Show, and the discuss today is key lessons from the Anambra 2021 Gubernatorial Elections. It is no longer news that Professor Charles Chukwuma Soludo of the All Progressive Grand Alliance, APGA, was announced as the winner of the elections, polling 112,229 of the 241,523 valid votes casted in the elections. He had the required 25% in all the 21 local governments. He clinched 19 local government areas out of 21, showing a massive victory that is convincing and will take a lot of depth in legal case to overturn. From the political analysis, there are 5 key issues to highlight as lessons here as it concerns the Nigerian socio-political space. First, the need to improve political participation. And why is that? Because the results from the Anambra 2021 gubernatorial election showed a poor participation level by indigenes of the state. Out of 2,466,638 registered voters, only 241,523 valid votes were casted, which showed a percentage turnout of 10.27%. This was very poor and can be attributed to the fear of violence that erupted in the state build-up to the elections, the effects of the indigenous people of Biafra IPOB stay-at-home order, despite the fact that the group later urged the Anambra people to come out and vote, resistance of some communities who tried to frustrate the exercise in their polling units, and the issues with the INEC BIVAS device, which led to disenfranchisement of voters. Political participation is important for any society to advance, and like the various civil society organizations, CSOs, like YAGA, and of course, the Situation Room. In their statements, there is need for a broader and strategic approach to mobilizing voters to come out and register and exercise their civic responsibility, and improve the electoral process and guarantee peace and security for future elections. That is one very important thing to take note of, and hopefully it will improve. The second interesting lesson from this election is the fact that we've seen more technocrats and scholars getting on board in governance. Professor Charles Chukwuma Soludo made history as the second former central bank governor to win a gubernatorial elections. The first was Dr. Clement Isong, who went on after serving as central bank governor to lead all Cross River State. Soludo's emergence has brought to the fore the need for more technocrats and scholars to get involved in politics to shape leadership and governance in the country. If you look at nations like Singapore, it witnessed phenomenal transformation because of the active participation of technocrats in the political process. And so this is an encouragement that more private sector players, technocrats, scholars and analysts need to come on board to improve governance, especially at the subnational level. The third is the need for INEC to improve adoption of technology for elections. The Independent National Electoral Commission did a great job at the Anambra Gubernatorial Elections. But experts, analysts, and stakeholders believe there's room for improvement. And this covers prompt distribution of permanent voters card, which should be more systematic and improve the technology adoption for the process of a credible election. The newly introduced bimodal voter accreditation system, BIVAS machines, was a good innovation to improve the electioneering process, but had several challenges. Some of the machines during the last elections malfunctioned in many units, with voters complaining they were tired of waiting. This constituted part of the reasons why there was a poor turnout in the process. So INEC needs to go back and review the process with a view to improvising the technology ahead of the Ekiti and Osun gubernatorial elections in 2022, because this is what will instill confidence in the system. For number 4, this is one part I would really like to stress on. I believe that political parties should explore broader coalitions. From the election results, one major takeaway was the need for political parties to form broader coalitions that can lead to improved performance in the polls. 11 political parties out of 18 did not poll up to 1,000 votes in these last elections. So imagine if 11 had come together to form a coalition. Maybe that would have been a strong force to reckon with. So I believe political parties in Nigeria should review their engagement and dynamics to ensure that they remain relevant in the scheme of politics. And coalitions is one way to explore how to also contend, because so far we're seeing major parties like the All Progressive Congress, People's Democratic Party. In the Anambra case, the All Party, the Grand Alliance, APGA, becoming the influential forces. And then some parties poll not up to 1,000 votes. That's not the way to go for leadership. And that has to improve at the local government, states, and federal level. And the fifth and the last, Soludo and the repositioning of Anambra as Lagos 2.0. For those that follow Professor Charles Chukwuma Soludo in his discussions, it is very clear that the people of Anambra made their choice at this last election, and that choice is Professor Charles Soludo. He's adjudged, and of course, everyone agreed he was the best candidate with a clear vision and plan for Anambra State. He also understands the fourth industrial revolution driven by digital technology and the imperatives for governance. So scholars, experts, analysts, commentators, and even the entire populace expect a lot from Professor Soludo based on his exposure and wealth of experience. From the pro-share perspective, Professor Soludo will now have to reimagine and rethink governance at the subnational level. For the former CBN governor, this is a great opportunity to drive one of his big goals of turning Anambra into a Lagos 2.0, a city that is industrialized, digitized, leader in human capital, attractive investment hub, a tourism destination, and well connected across with world-class infrastructure. I would say it is a golden moment for Professor Soludo and the entire Anambra, and we'll be monitoring to see how the development strides go on in that state. And that will be all for this edition of the Economy and Politics Show. If you have comments, suggestions, or questions on the lessons from the Anambra 2021 gubernatorial elections and the way forward, send them to Ottoabasi Abasiekong@proshng.com. Also, you can follow our social media platforms displayed on the screen. Don't forget this video, you need to stay safe. Till we come your way again, thank you for watching and have a lovely day.